Catch your breath, Gloria, while I introduce
and
the
David
item.
Reed.
Commissioners, at the conclusion of last year's performance evaluation process for appointed officials, the City Commission directed that a pay study be conducted to determine if compensation for city officials is appropriately aligned to the market. In response to that directive, the Human Resources Department conducted a nationwide pay and benefits survey. The results of that survey support compensation adjustments as outlined in your agenda material, which must be approved by the City Commission prior to implementation. Let me ask Gloria McNeil if she would come up and be available for any questions that you might have on that item.
All right. Questions, comment? Gloria, you have anything you want to add first, or?
Not unless the commissioners have any questions. I believe the manager has basically outlined what we were asked to do and the process that we followed.
Just real quickly, I had a question. The cities that we compared to, were there kind of any comparables taken into consideration, or was this just a nationwide scan?
Well, we did the nationwide survey, but in selecting the cities that we looked at criteria such as the size of the budget, the complexity of the services, in an effort to match those cities that had something in common with the city of Tallahassee. Employee size, population size, all of those things were considered in making the matches.
So we looked at comparable cities?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's hard to find any city that's comparable to the city of Tallahassee under any circumstance. So. Commissioner Mustian had his hand.
I just, two things. One is just procedurally here, Mayor, I would like to take these as two different items and vote on them separately, the options 1 and 2, because they're really kind of different things here. So if that's acceptable, the question I had is really on the first one, on the survey. And the recommendation, comes out, if I understand it correctly, at where the amount that we're trying to get to is 60% of the median of those surveyed. Is that correct?
Yes, we're looking at the 60th percentile, which of course is the target that we have established for all other city positions as well.
Okay.
That's just the prerogative of the commissioners. If I can get a motion of some sort, I'll entertain it.
I'll make a motion, which you may not want to support, but I think it's what I would like to do. You know, we've been kind of round and round on the 60% in other contexts, and my understanding of where the city has been on this in the past is it's kind of an aspirational goal that we'd like to get to. In some places we can, in some places we can't, and as we know through some of the negotiations, a lot depends on exactly who you look at in terms of comparing yourself. And so I just feel like that, you know, there certainly are instances where we're not able to get to the 60%. And I am uncomfortable doing this at a 60% level just because I think it sends a message that, well, you know, we may not be able to get you there, but we're sure going to get the people at the high end there. So I'd like to do something somewhat less than the 60%. And I don't have a firm figure in mind, but I'll move that. You know, I'd be interested to see what the numbers are at 50% or 55, and I don't know if that's something that probably isn't something we can do off the back of an envelope. But I'm just uncomfortable with the 60% for that reason. So I will, for purposes of discussion, I'll move this at the 50% of median.
As for a lack of a second?
Okay.
All right. Another motion?
I'll move it, move the items as is. I understand that issue, but I think it's pretty compelling when you look at what our appointed officials do and the workload and the size of the budgets, and even compare that to Leon County.
Yeah, I'll second that. Any other? I mean, we can talk about this in a lot in terms of quality of service, quality of life, and a lot of things, but I think it's an appropriate thing to do after we've done this survey. And with that, I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposers?
Aye.
All right. It passes 4-1. Thank you very much. Next item?
But let's be clear, was that both options 1 or 2? Or
I thought that's what the Commissioner Leitzer did.
I was moving the two recommendations.
She was moving both
Okay,
of them.
well, I will speak to the latter then, because that was I will vote against also. But on number 2, just to put my reasons on the record, I mean, what we're doing here that I'm not comfortable with is we're basically increasing our compensation here as well as some other folks. And I just feel like that if we're going to do that, that's something that ought to be done through a charter amendment. And, it's a fairly substantial increase. So having said that, I'll defer to the majority of the commission.
Commissioner, I guess we need to ask a question to the city attorney. Is this have you researched this, I assume?
Yeah, this is because the restriction in the charter deals with salary, and this is not salary. This is essentially your retirement benefit side of the package, which is not restricted by charter.
All right. With that, the motion passes. Thank you very much.